Hello guys, Crispy here and welcome back to another video. This one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GeForce GTX 662 Gigabyte GDDR5 in Forza Horizon 5, arguably the best optimized title of 2021. This one is the Gigabyte WindForce 2X OC model of the card. It comes already a little bit overclocked out of the box. I am pushing just a little bit further, you know, the clocks here, plus 50 megahertz on the car clock and plus 100 megahertz on the memory clock. We are of course using the latest drivers with it, and today I'm actually pairing it with the i5 2320 PC with 16 gigabytes of RAM, dual channel, 1333 megahertz, DDR3. So this is going to be very interesting. Let's see what a 2012 mid-range system can do in Forza Horizon 5, shall we? So I'm going to set it to 1080p resolution first to start off the video like this. I think the 660 should be able to handle it at 1080p, although the 2 gigabytes of VRAM could be a problem. Everything is set to the very low settings right now, and I don't know how this will perform, so let's find out, and then we will test some other settings as well, of course, as usual. Hey, yeah. Ooh, massive stutter right at the beginning. What the hell? Oh, it was probably just because of this. Alright, so I'm just gonna mark the big city in the map because it's intensive, and we're gonna go to one of the tunnels there, which is super intensive. We don't have the Christmas presents in the middle of the road anymore. That's a big shame. I like to crash against those, but hey, let's keep on going here. So in the festival area, it does drop from 60 frames per second, but I was gonna say that it's still impressive because this is an older system, but the game looks like crap right now. Medium settings do look very good compared to very low. Even low settings looks way better than this. So yeah, I would totally avoid very low settings, especially because we can't even get 60 plus FPS all of the time. So there's just no point in playing like this. You're losing a lot if you're playing this game on low settings graphics, because the game is absolutely gorgeous at like medium or high settings. So, boy, okay. But hey, the fact that an almost 10-year-old system can actually play Forza Horizon 5 at 1080p is pretty impressive. The 660 still has a little bit left to give. The i5 sometimes goes up to 99% utilization, and it has a few stutters here and there, but I don't think those are game-breaking, honestly. I don't think the i5 is a bottleneck here. Yeah, this is probably one of the most intensive areas, especially for the CPU to handle, and we are seeing a little bit of variation there in the GPU usage. But I mean, I think the i5 with its 4 cores and 4 threads is doing a really good job, especially considering its age. So now going into the tunnel. All right, lower 30s. Will it drop from 30? Yeah, okay, 27 there. That will only happen when you get out of these big tunnels, you know, because of the changes in lighting, I guess. So it doesn't really happen that often. I think this is a solid-ish experience in terms of frame rate, but the graphics leave a lot to be desired. Now, if you really want 60 plus frames per second all of the time, of course, playing at higher settings isn't really a good idea, but you could lower the resolution, and maybe at 720p we can have that. Let's find out. So 1280 by 720 and very low settings. Interesting. I expected a lot more. Yeah, it still drops into the 40s. Very interesting. I wonder if it drops from 30 in the tunnels. That would be super weird, because 720p is a way lower resolution than 1080p, and yet we're seeing very similar results. Okay, there we go. The 30s are there. Ooh, very close to 30, but we only got like a 5 FPS difference there at the minimum compared to 1080p resolution. So, I mean, 5 FPS. 5 FPS from 1080p to 720p. That's actually awful, guys. I just stick to 1080p, to be honest. Probably 1080p low is the best choice. It will drop a little bit more from 30, of course, in those very intensive scenarios, but it will look way better. So I think that's what we're gonna try out next. I'm just gonna go through the city really fast right now if I can, just to see if the CPU is a bottleneck at this low resolution or not. Doesn't seem to be. So I'm impressed with the i5 actually. It's doing a really good job. Okay, I just restarted the game and applied the 1080p resolution and the low settings this time around. Okay. Oh boy, yeah. This stutter at the beginning is definitely because of this thing just showing up there. Okay, at the start we were seeing very close to 30 frames per second, and that's not a good sign whatsoever. But now it's stabilized a little bit, and it is actually quite playable. Let's go to the city area once again. You know what? I'm not even gonna mark it in the map this time. You know, I think I know how to get there. It's pretty easy, right? Yeah, it is looking a lot better for sure. Some of the textures, especially at the distance, they still look pretty bad, the detail, you know. But hey, it's still playable. And it looks better, so I would definitely choose to play like this instead of very low settings, that's for sure. Also, why is the ground so dark? This looks very weird. I don't remember it to be so dark. Was there a fire or something? So sorry, buddy. I kind of ruined his car. It's not too bad. Oh boy, no. Oh, God, all right, we're fine. I hate that tree, guys. Whenever I don't crash against those houses, I crash against that tree. I don't like it. I still think that they should have made every single tree breakable in this game for noobs like me, you know? Anyway, are we good? We are good. Yes, please. There it is. Alright, so now we're getting around the same FPS as we got inside of the tunnel, but outside of the tunnel. That's not too bad. Oh, that was really close. It's still playable in my opinion, especially if you lock the FPS to 30, you can have that console-like experience. I guess the consoles can actually play this game at more than 30 frames though, but still, it will be decent, especially with the controller, and now, that's awful. That's really bad, but as long as you stay away from tunnels in this game, I think you're okay. It's even dropped there to 29. I've seen worse. You know, after playing this game with the GT 710, I think this is absolutely beautiful. I'm also skipping the 900p resolution just because, again, there's like a 5 FPS difference between 720p and 1080p. Not here, though. It might be like a 10% difference or so. Yeah. 60s. That's not bad. Of course, if we didn't get 60 plus all of the time at... why did I do that? At the 720p very low settings, we're not gonna get it at low. But you know what? Still pretty similar to what we were getting before, isn't it? I mean this in terms of the playability of the game. If I didn't have the FPS counter, this would feel pretty similar to 1080p very low settings to me, at least. And I would have fun like this for sure. I think the tunnel's right here. I am so sorry. Those guys, they are not afraid of anything. Balls of steel. And... alright, moment of truth. 25. So 720p low is actually more demanding than 1080p very low in this game. That's interesting to see. But hey, we're back to 1080p resolution using medium settings preset. MSAA is set to 2 times, but this is not an intensive setting in Forza Horizon 5 whatsoever. It will drop your FPS by like 2 or 3 maximum, even less than that probably if you're getting low FPS. This is taking considerably longer to load than the other settings, guys. It's interesting. Maybe it's something due to the VRAM and RAM utilizations, because we are definitely running out of VRAM at medium settings in this game. I think it uses up to like 4 gigabytes or something. Now the thing with medium settings is, if it manages 30 FPS on average, I could see some people playing like this, adding some motion blur maybe and playing with the controller. It wouldn't be too bad, and if you really want to play the game for the visuals, it would be possible. I wouldn't really, but now it does look a lot better. I'm not sure if it's because there are less clouds in the sky, but the things are not black. The ground's not black anymore. And that makes a huge difference. Oh, never mind. It's just some of the areas are really dark. The experience here out of nowhere, basically, with no other things to render, like houses and... it was pretty good, but now that there are just a few houses on the screen, it's awful. No, not again, not again, not again, not again. Okay, stop it, stop. Oh, we didn't crash. We didn't crash. That was all on purpose. Pretty good. I am a pro at this game. Said no one ever. Time to die, I guess. Yep, 660. To be honest, I expected a little bit lower here. Not gonna lie, but I don't really recommend this, guys. 24. Oh, let me just check the tunnel, just for curiosity's sake. Again, you shouldn't play like this, in my opinion. Ah, that's awful. Oh, 19. And maybe what, 15? 17. That was better than what I was expecting. Now, what about medium settings at 720p? I think it's still gonna be pretty rough. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this. It drops way too much below 30, guys. It's just stick to 1080p low. I think, in my opinion, that's how you should play this game with the 660. Maybe add some motion blur, lock your FPS to 30, and the motion blur, I know I say I hate it most of the time, and I truly hate it, to be honest. But with these lower end specs, whenever you are playing at 30 frames or so, it will actually feel, it will give you the feeling that it is slightly smoother with motion blur, so I don't mind turning it on and playing with a controller or something. So that's been it, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. I am still impressed about the performance here. This is, after all, an almost 10-year-old PC, and it's able to play Forza Horizon 5 comfortably with decent or playable FPS at various resolutions and settings. So there's that. You don't even need to play at the minimum settings. That's amazing. So I'll catch you in the next one very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I love you all. Bye-bye.